So basically, I'm Mileta, and I'm an architectural engineer. But basically, for last 10 years almost, I'm trying to do implementation of BIM processes around the globe, and I'm working as a BIM manager at Bexel Consulting. So briefly, these are some projects that I was involved in, and our company actually was involved, and all these projects are actually was based on BIM and was partially or fully integrated regarding BIM processes. And as you can see, there's a lot of different types of the projects and different regions of the world. So you can see that actually throughout the implementation of these processes, we gained the idea and gained the experience, which led to us to next stage of actually project, and that's facility maintenance or actually managing the entire life cycle of the building. Because I'm not sure how much of you is aware that when you complete a project, the price of your completed project is actually only 27% of the price of that building during the 60 years of period of their exploitation. So you have to be aware that the building actually has a triple of cost in next years when it's completed. So in order to start, or actually to implement the processes regarding the facility management, is actually the start has to be really organized and based on some specific standards, because you want to be sure that your information that you're going to store within the project and within the model itself will be used in the next 10 or 20 or 50 years. So that's why we rely on different actually standards. Basically, the entire presentation, which will explain how we actually doing the facility management on the project, in this case will be presented on a real case study on the projects that we actually were involved. It's done in Belgrade, Serbia, and all the processes, because the building is actually started almost 9 years ago, the processes were based on the standards which were at that time the relevant standards, but basically these are updated, and during the last 2 years we actually implemented and adopted the latest one, which is BIM ISO standard 19650 regarding the BIM, and also ISO 55000, which is standard for asset management actually. So as I've said, the basis of the process has to be open BIM, because you want to be sure that someone who actually maintains the facility will use your information in some formats that actually can be written in the future. So all the processes are actually based on IFC file formats, and basically as a guide for the frame of the processes is actually COBie spreadsheet, which have some standardized information which are usually relevant for the clients, but we actually adopted and changed these information according to the client request, because all the clients have some specific requests and specific ideas what actually facility management is. And this project that I'm going to speak about is West 65, which was one of the finalists on this year's winning, or actually this contest of building information in Building Smart International processes regarding the implementation of BIM. And we are one of the finalists in the operation and maintenance category. So this is briefly a video which introduces you with the project. This is a West 65 mostly residential complex, which also has one high-rise building and one specific shopping mall, which is actually the last phase of the project. So entire complex has almost 12 buildings which are residential and one high-rise tower and one shopping mall, and the entire area of the complex is around 166,000 square meters. So you see here the phases of the project.
Back in 2010, when we started development of Project 165, we have recognized the potential of BIM, which is why we have implemented BIM at a very early stage of development project. For success of our business as investor, developer, and facility manager, it is crucial to plan our activities and investment accordingly. Throughout the process of development, we've been utilizing BIM at the very beginning in design process, thereafter in development process, but that's not the end of it. Upon completion of the first phase of the project, we have recognized an opportunity to use BIM for the purpose of successful and advanced facility management. We have started implementing BIM solution in facility management, which helped us to be more efficient in facility management, to shorten the period for response of our facility management team, to appropriately identify the reason for any failure of installed systems, and to improve overall maintenance and efficiency characteristics of our service.
You basically heard the words of our client and his approach to this project using BIM. And here you see a brief animation which is actually done using our platform. It's a scheduled animation mixed with a real video from the drone, representing the current status of the project and presenting what shall be executed within next 2 years. And as I've said, it's really important to start the project with the idea how you're going to use it and which processes you're going to use for specific stages of the project. So that's the only way how you can aim the goal properly. So here at the very start, you're defining your BIM results. And so in order to define these results, you have to be included mainly through all the stages of the projects, and be sure with a constant model checking that all the procedures are actually followed by all stakeholders, in order to be sure that everyone actually added the information necessary for the facility management process. So at the start, we defined all the building models. So actually you see how the different elements of all disciplines of the model are actually named. This is something which is called model numbering system, and it's a system for naming 3D elements in order to be sure that when you collaborate all different data from all different authoring tools, you're gonna see the same information, or actually you're gonna see the information systematically organized in the way that you actually intended to be organized. So the goals, which are the facility management goals, has to be prepared and organized at the start. So one of the goals were to pre-plan the maintenance activities in the next years when the building is completed, to adapt and anticipate the cost of these works, and also to keep all the documents and all the data stored in one place, so all the stakeholders during the facility management process can access all these information. So as I've said, you can use the COBie spreadsheets just as a guide, as a framework for your information, which will be stored, but basically all this information has to be discussed and actually completed with the client, with the agreement with your clients. In this case, we knew that the client will actually use in these latest years that he's going to use some advanced techniques for tracking the management, or actually to tracking the works and the services that's supposed to be done on site by different servicing company. So that's why we provided some kind of system for naming all these elements in the latest BIM models in order to provide unique coding for all the assets which are relevant for the maintenance. And that's why we created this kind of coding system for specific assets, just in order to be able to each code be transferred to the QR code, which will be also stamped into the assets of the building. And every time when the asset's supposed to be maintained according to the schedule, you're going to get the information or the notification prior the process in order to execute your part of the work. So entire process, as Veljko is explaining previously, is based on our cloud-based platform, which is actually the storage of all the information, not just data, actually just not just the number information or actually model information, but also documents which are really relevant for the facility management. So basically you have one specific storage and one specific place where all stakeholders of the project can access and take the information which are necessary for their needs. And basically, when the project is actually completed, the next step was to create the as-built model, but not just physical as-built model containing the physical information about the executed elements on the site, but also regarding the documents and the information needed for accessing these specific information in specific time in the future. So these are some of the information which were relevant for this facility maintenance planning process. So here you have the name, description, quantity, material, price for next operation processes, so you can create and predict how you're gonna actually maintenance your cost throughout the entire process in the future. And in the next video, you see how in this platform, Bexel Manager Facility Management module of the Bexel Manager, is actually possible to link all the documents, all the as-built documents of the building, whether it's PDF drawings, which are mostly used because of the size, whether it's DWG files natively done from the AutoCAD or exported from the BIM authoring tool, or these are images, Excel spreadsheet, any kind of document can be linked to the model and also can be linked to specific 3D model elements. So you can access to a specific asset or to a specific 3D BIM model just by selecting document, or vice versa, just selecting the element in the model. You're going to get the access to the documents as well. And these are some of the documents which are basically can be accessed and can be linked to a 3D model. And this is the way how you can actually do it. Within the platform, you can access the building that you want to that you want to add additional information, you can access specific story of the building or specific room or specific apartment of the building and see the properties or metadata of that specific area. You can see some of the properties or you can see all properties. That's why we have the filtering system where you can just analyze information which are relevant for facility maintenance processes like you see here. So sometimes the client or servicing company, they don't want to see all the possible information which model has within itself. They just want to access the warranty sheets. They want to see some kind of manuals. They want to see specification of the specific asset, and they also want to see some production dates or the price information. So here you can see how you can access all these information from the Bexel Manager itself, or how you can use an online module or actually online platform to access all these linked documents, whether you use Bexel Manager itself or you're just a servicing company who actually don't use Bexel Manager. They just want to access the data of these information and they just want to see the plans and the documents which are linked. So currently you can access to the documents, to the drawings, to the specification, warranties, manuals, and just using the web browser. And if you have an internet, you can access all these information within just a click. Also, these information are also accessible via mobile devices, so you can access this organized structure of the documents. You can access the plans for the facility management, and you can create your own plans for the facility management. In this case, you see some of the cost data for specific assets and how you can use that mobile device to access all these information. So basically, once you have your asset BIM model, which contains all the information and all the documents linked to itself, then you can start to create your facility maintenance plans, or actually start to create the plan of your future services of the building, and then you can create, as explained in this video, you can attach specific asset of the building to the plan. So basically, at the start, you just select the asset or the BIM model element. You can explore the data or the information which are linked to this specific item, and then you can create a plan for the maintenance. You can provide the name of the company which will be responsible for the services and maintenance jobs for this asset. You can provide the price, you can provide the frequency and the dates when the job will be executed, and then also you can create some images and the documents which are relevant for that asset, and then all these information will be available via Bexel Manager platform. All the documents as well will be attached to these assets and can be linked, whether these are real documents as PDF files or just links, or actually the hyperlinks through the internet. So you can basically access to the real information from the manufacturers and see the real information regarding that specific item. So here you can access also that QR code which is relevant to that specific item, and using that QR code you can access to that specific item as well using the mobile devices. And here we're presenting the same process can be done via online platform without even need to access the real asset and to see it in a 3D model. You can access the information and you can create a notification in order to be informed prior the time to timely execute the service of that specific asset. And also this is the summarize of the process. Basically, you see the B model containing all the documents, all the data, and all the plans linked to it within one platform. And this is a short video presenting how the notifications are actually managed. So prior the specific servicing to be done, you're gonna get the information where and which kind of service you're gonna execute. You're gonna get the information where this specific asset is actually positioned, and then the servicing company just have to follow the information using the, for example, QR code reader. They can access all the relevant information which are linked to this specific asset, and they can do it within the Bexel Manager itself, or they can use the online platform to select the items, to input the price of the executed service, and then mark their service as completed or as delayed, or whatever kind of the status of that service is. And also you can access the same information via mobile device. So as you can see, the same project, you're accessing the plans, you're assessing the prices, or actually the cost plans for the next timeline. You can also make a filter of the timeline for which you want to see the price of your maintenance services, so you can access all this information. And once the service is actually completed, you can input that data that you as a service company, that you actually done your part of the work, and all stakeholders will be notified about this information. So this is how we actually did it on a real project, and this is something for the future. The future is actually integration of all these systems, digital twin and facility maintenance, and actually BIM processes into one smart digital twin, and creating the Internet of Things integration, where all stakeholders can be or actually will be enabled to access all the information through a mobile device, and can be not just to access the information, but also to change some information, or actually to automatically change the asset within the building through these devices. For example, just open the doors, close the windows, turn off the power within the building itself, and etc.